when I was 16, you have to keep in mind though that the age limit in Sweden is a little bit different perhaps than in other countries, right? Um, I passed myself off as 18 as well. No one really believed it, but sure, why not? And I got a lot of creepers coming after me. So, and the laws is written, in such a way that, okay, let's say the legal age in Sweden when it comes to, having sex, right, is 15. I'm saying this as someone who has been 18 quite pretty recently, actually. And yeah, it's not a pretty look, but then again, I often say that I'm an asshole and I will always be an asshole. By the way, Belfast, when will you have your karaoke nights again?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to do a wee one. I've been trying to sort of keep myself off a wee bit. Um, just having some real life,
It was fun when we did those.
I think she's cut out
and
again.
that's where we're going to have to work it. We're going to have to work on that really hard. Because I can see um the gay and lesbian community, like, yeah, and bisexual community, like, running away, going, "Oh my God, they're all terrible to us, and they all hate us." And I kind of worry about that too. I'm kind of going, "Oh shit, you know, we worked so hard to try and convince um, our gay and lesbian sisters that, we genuinely thought they were just normal. Our gay and lesbian sisters that our gay and lesbian sisters that our gay sisters, our gay sisters, our gay sisters."
Yeah, so for me, you get people who have got gender dysphoria, who don't feel that their sense of who they are is the same as the physical body they live in. I'm being very careful not to mention genitals here because I know there's gender dysphoria, there's body dysmorphia. The vast majority of people out there that self-label as trans are people with a fetish. They're not people with gender dysphoria. There are people that have a sexual paraphilia and they like dressing up in women's clothes. They like presenting as the opposite sex. This is men acting out their sexual fetishes in public, which is a paraphilia that requires affirmation by other people to give them that sexual rush. And this is what they're doing. They're just using us as pawns in their sexual fantasies unwillingly to get off. And I wish more people realised the big difference between gender dysphoria and autogynephilia or autoandrophilia for women. That's I stick to the old meaning of the word transsexual, and I believe transsexuals are people that have had surgical alterations. Everyone else, there's a small minority who are, as I've said, true gender dysphorics, and everyone else is just straight sexual fetishists. And I wish before too long people start to wake up to this. And the other thing that really annoys me about gays spouting this is we did not make a choice about our sexuality. And for most people who are gay or lesbian or bisexual, they can relate stories of when they were very, very young, prepubescent, and this is the key thing, prepubescent, and this is the key thing, prepubescent, 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 and this is the key thing. They can tell you that before puberty, they realized that they viewed men's and women's bodies differently and they felt different about men and women. I can trace back to my first realization that I wasn't the same as other boys when I was about 6 years old.
Sorry, I'll try to keep it short. So, thanks, Hobbit. You kind of said the last 5 sentences, and I was just trying to politely say I don't believe in the concept of gender, the one, some in a sense of one's sex. I'm female. My husband is male. It's not that I feel that way. It's just that my body acts that way. So I can understand people having dysphoria of the sex that they are and how that kind of feels removed or different. So I completely appreciate some individuals genuinely have an issue of the sex that they are in some way. Let's be clear about that. So the sex dysphoria, I can appreciate. I've got to know more about. I'm reading about and completely get or open to the individuals have some struggle of genuine struggle with that. That's one thing. This true trans things, well, it's leading me weird. It's strange. I don't quite understand it, because if you are, you are. If you're adopting that word, and I hate using their language and I try to avoid it, I just call it ideology language, but something like trans, it suggests that you've moved, it's suggesting that you're moving from one sex to the other.
I was going to say the other irony here is men can't live as women because society does not treat them as women. Men get recognised as the sex they are on sight, and men do not receive misogyny and get talked over and belittled by other men.
1 minute left. Would you like to close, Jane? Oh, sorry.
It's just been really an interesting conversation. Just to say thank you, Hobbit, and nice to meet you and hear the different voices here. And hopefully, I didn't say I was going to say something too controversial, but it's interesting to hear other views. I stand very basic in my positioning on this, but I'm yet to be persuaded. Let's say.
Exactly the same. And you're more than welcome. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, you definitely improved the space. You're welcome again. Thank you.